What is going on, everybody? I am the Financial Conspirator, your guide for everything financials and conspiracies. And I'm back. And I've been seeing a lot of FUD. A lot of guys are getting scared. MSTR is too volatile. Bitcoin is too volatile. I mean, we're going backwards in time with these arguments, so I'm going to bring it back in time just a little bit with this presentation. We're going to be going over why volatility is a feature and not a bug. It's going to be quite a few video clips, basically just a video presentation. I won't be doing that much talking. So let's get right into it.
Let me make this one analogy. Volatility is like fire, and some people run away from the fire, but Henry Ford put the fire into a carriage via an engine, created an entire industry, and he gave humanity wings.
Saylor is going to go into this further in the clips that I show you, but it is important to note right now, as many times as possible, volatility is a tool. It's a gift. It is a lever. It's an opportunity. It is something for you to take advantage of. It is not something for you to be afraid of. It is absolutely a feature and not a bug.
There's nothing wrong with volatility as long as you have a lot of capital. So for example, Bernard Arnault has $200 billion of stock, and people write stories about how he lost $20 billion last week, or he made $40 billion. Or how about Elon Musk? He made $100 billion in a month. That's volatility. Okay, you want that volatility to go away? Give away all your stuff, and you will have no volatility. Right? People that own nothing have no volatility. When you're dead, you have no volatility. Right? When someone tells you volatility is bad, and therefore you should give them all of your wealth, right? They're playing you. There's nothing wrong with having very valuable stuff that goes up and down from time to time.
Saylor made another excellent analogy, and I probably couldn't find the clip, but he said to say that Bitcoin is too volatile is like being starving in a desert, and you come across a waterfall, and instead of going to drink the water, you say, wow, that water's coming down too fast. It's way too volatile. No, that's what's going to save your life.
The volatility is a gift to the faithful. The volatility, for example, I started buying Bitcoin and it soared up to 66,000. It crashed down to 40,000. It zoomed up to 60,000 something again. It crashed down to 16,000. It came back up, and all the way it was very volatile and uncertain. And we were able to go from $250 million in Bitcoin to buying 25 billion to having 42 billion in Bitcoin. And we took our company from 600 million in enterprise value to more than 100 billion.
Yeah.
If Bitcoin had been predictable, if Bitcoin had just grown 30% or 60% consistently, 5% a month or something, then Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, Jamie Dimon, everybody in the world, Bill Gates, they all would have bought it. I wouldn't get any. I would have 1/25th as much. We wouldn't be a $100 billion company. We might be a $5 billion company. But the volatility was a gift to the faithful. It scares away the tourist. It scares away the lazy. It scares away the people that are already conventionally rich, that have all the money. If you're a 20-something or a 30-something and you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to spend 100 hours or 200 hours, if you have more time than money, then the volatility of Bitcoin is a gift to you. If you have more money than time, and you're arrogant and egotistical and you just pick the obvious, then if the volatility goes away, you buy Bitcoin. If people in the rest of the world knew what I know and they understood and they agreed with me, Bitcoin would go to $10 million tomorrow. And if Bitcoin went to $10 million tomorrow, I want you to think about how you would feel and how your viewers would feel. because you would lose 20 years of stacking opportunity during which you get to buy at less than $10 million. So the difference between $10 million and 100,000, that's what you give up if the volatility goes away and people start to agree with you.
The difference between 100,000 and 10 million is what you give up if the volatility goes away and people start to agree with you. That is insane. I mean, that's perfect. You're complaining. People were complaining. People are still complaining about short-term price fluctuations. When we were under 80,000, 90,000, 100,000, I was saying in my videos, this could be the very last time we have the opportunity to buy under 100,000. Because once America, China, Russia, BRICS, Burkina Faso, Cuba, Venezuela, Argentina, El Salvador already, once these nations begin to realize, holy shit, this is actually not a tulip, this might be something worth studying. Once everyone starts to agree and the consensus is formed, you are going to be priced out forever. You will never be able to get to one Bitcoin. It's just not going to happen. Which is why every day, every dollar, come on, Mittens, it matters. That's my cat, excuse me. Every dollar, every day, it matters. You should be maximizing your output to expose yourself to the ultimate leverage machine that is Bitcoin.
So I'll end with just one thought, which is, in my life, I've made a bunch of very successful investments. I bought Facebook, I bought Apple, I bought Google, I bought Amazon, I bought Bitcoin. And there's a simple formula if you want to make 10x your money or even 100x your money. And this is the formula. Find something in the world everybody needs, nobody can stop, and few people understand. And if you find that, if it's like obvious, Amazon, Google, Facebook, iPhones, Bitcoin, digital capital, digital money, digital photos, digital relationships, digital video, if it's obvious and nobody can stop it, but you go and you talk to a bunch of people with more money than you, and they're older than you, and they're more successful than you, and they all say, I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, at that point, the cowardly response, the loser response is, well, a lot of people told me to give up on it because they don't get it, so I won't get it. And the right response is, I'm going to study it and decide if they're wrong, and I'm going to make a decision for myself. And if I got it, if I bought Amazon when Wall Street hated it, if I bought Facebook and Google and Apple when Wall Street hated it, if I bought Bitcoin when Wall Street hated it, then I'm getting rich.
And if your favorite financial guru is telling you that they don't get the appeal of Bitcoin, they don't understand why MSTR trades at a premium, that shouldn't dissuade you. That should encourage you to study it even. Remember, we spend close to 40 to 60,000 hours of our lives working for money that gets printed out of thin air. It is worth 100 hours to study how to keep that money.
It's pretty obvious, right? It's quite obvious. It's hard to be better than Amazon or Microsoft or Apple. So the real advice is focus upon the balance sheet where it is very easy to be better than the US dollar standard or the fiat standard company. So that's the part of your business you can fix. You can fix your balance sheet. And most people don't. Like most people don't focus on that. They put 98% or 99% of their effort into their P&L, and they're basically pouring 99% of their focus and their energy in a losing cause, and they're not going to win. And they're putting 1% into their balance sheet where you're 99% likely to succeed on the balance sheet under the Bitcoin standard, and you're 99% likely to fail in the operating business. On the fiat standard, But conventional wisdom is to focus on the operation and dismiss the balance sheet. And if you want to escape from that dilemma, you have to invert that and you have to fixate on the balance sheet, and you ought to play defense with the P&L.
It is so much easier to just buy and hold Bitcoin than it is to try and trade and outperform. And if you're looking to outperform Bitcoin, you're not going to find it in altcoins. Personally, I found it in MSTR. None of that is financial advice. This is all entertainment, of course. Just telling you my life story.
It's pretty. You don't want it to be non-volatile. Here's what you want. You want it to be extremely volatile, because that way you know something nobody else knows. I give you 21 years and you can go start a company, borrow money, raise capital, start a hedge fund, create a Bitcoin business, tell your friends, start a podcast, build a life for yourself, get leverage, mortgage your house, change the view of your bank. I'm giving you the ability to do work. It's a lever. It's a 21-year lever, okay? Like MicroStrategy has been working 4 years. If Bitcoin had gone from 10,000 to 65,000 on August 11th, on the day we announced our Bitcoin buy on August 10th, we wouldn't be worth 40 billion right now. We would be worth 4 billion right now.
So to that point, and there's a day like today where Bitcoin is reaching new all-time highs and strategy is falling from 425 to around 399, and Bitcoin is approaching 112,000. Days like today, instead of being angry, instead of being confused, instead of ranting on Twitter about how you're going to sell the stock, you should be using this as an opportunity. If you've studied, if you know what you're doing, you know that this is an opportunity. Nothing has changed. 1 Bitcoin still equals 1 Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not volatile. The US dollar is what's volatile. Now taking a look at strategy versus other public companies, because this is absolutely insane. They've already won. There is no second best Bitcoin proxy. There is no second best Bitcoin treasury company. There is a Bitcoin treasury company. It's strategy. And I pulled this from Twitter, the irresponsibly long Twitter to be exact. Give that community a join. MSTR Q2 earnings with Bitcoin at 109,500. MSTR has a $15 billion gain in a single quarter. The estimated earnings per share of quarter 2 is $54, around a 7.7 PE ratio. This would qualify MSTR for S&P 500 inclusion for the first time, leading to billions of dollars in passive inflows. I've been saying this for the longest time. MSTR is the bridge between Bitcoin and traditional corporate finance. And that's all I got for you folks. Make sure you study. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all that good jazz. I'm out.